Hi, I'm
Hi.
Karen from NicaSeeker, a bilingual platform highlighting businesses across Nicaragua. Today, I'm here with the lovely Natalie Sullivan from Discover Real Estate, and she is based just opposite the main beach in San Juan del Sur. Discover Real Estate is one of our premium listed businesses on NicaSeeker, and this conversation is part of our ongoing collaboration. We're going to talk a little about the story of Natalie and Discover Real Estate, what brought them to Nicaragua, and the work that they're doing here. Hi, Natalie.
Hi.
Tell us a little about yourself and the work that you're doing here.
I've been in Nicaragua for 20 years. I originally came down here with my now ex-husband, just looking for a vacation rental place like many of my clients are looking for. And we spent a week with realtors looking at everything and anything and ended up buying a place. And it was just like the vacation at a couple times a year, rented out the rest. But then a year and a half later, we got divorced. So I decided if I'm starting my life over, why not be where I eventually wanted to retire to? So in my usual, normal, very independent fashion, I stuck my neck out and I moved to Nicaragua. And I had a business idea that I was going to do, and I ran it by the resort manager, and he liked it, but he said, you know, nothing gets started quickly here. So if you want to help me sell the last 6 units while you start your business, maybe you'll sell something and make a little money and have a little extra income. I sold all 6 in 5 weeks. So then he's like, hold on, I'll have more, I'll have more. So I never started my business idea, and that's how I got into selling real estate. And yeah, and so then I worked for the resort for 3.5 years, and then the world economy crashed and nothing was selling. And I did airport transportation and tour work and stuff because clients that I had sold to were still coming down. It's just nobody was buying right then. And then as sales picked up and people were buying again, Discover Real Estate, which is owned by a Nicaraguan in Managua, the capital, approached me several times and wanted me to run an office here in San Juan. And I was just kind of doing my own thing. And finally I realized, you know, being part of a big company is much better than trying to do it on your own. And so I've been with Discover Real Estate since like 2012, I think.
Wow.
No, less than 2011 or 2012. I was their sales agent here, running an office for them. And then in 2018, I bought the franchise. So so I just, because that way I wanted something that, you know, I'm 60. I'm not ready to retire yet.
Wow. No way. I cannot believe
Yes,
that.
living here is healthy for you. I am 60.
Wow.
So it's like I'm not ready to retire yet, but at some point when I do want to retire, I wanted something that I could sell. So I wanted my own business that I could sell. So I bought the franchise. And it's just been, it's had its ups and downs. I won't lie. It's not perfect here. You know, there's a lot of things that are a little different here than in the States where I'm from. I grew up in Pennsylvania on a big dairy farm. But I love the people here, the weather, the climate, the mañana attitude. But sometimes you get pissed off about the mañana attitude. When you're waiting for your air conditioner to get fixed, you don't want the mañana attitude. But mostly, I mean, the people, the Nicaraguans are just so happy and so nice. They have so little and they're happy. And they'll do anything for you. Like I've had a flat tire on a dirt road and I was by myself and I'm like, what am I gonna do? And 2 guys on a horse cart came by.
Oh my goodness.
And I asked them if they could change my flat tire and they said, yes, of course. So, and they did, they knew exactly what to do. One time I got stuck doing a river crossing. It was a shortcut around some construction. And I didn't know that if you stayed to the right side, that there was a big hole that the river had washed out. So I hit that. I had enough momentum going that my front tire made it through the hole and up onto the bank, but my back tire was just hanging over this hole. And about 6 Nicaraguans, they all jumped into the river and pushed me out. Took a little bit, but they got me out. So, they're so nice and they're so friendly and it's safe here. the other thing I really love about Nicaragua is we have never had a mass shooting, never. So, violent crime, very, very rare.
Yep.
Very rare.
I agree.
Petty theft, yeah, that's a problem,
Mhm.
but you have that anywhere. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I always tell people, if you leave your cell phone on the table and you go to the bathroom and you come back, it may or may not be there. So it just depends. But yeah, so, but I've only lost one cell phone, and that was the first year I was here, and I had it clipped onto the outside of my purse. And I think it fell off when I was showing properties. I like
Right.
caught it on a door or something, and it knocked off, and I just didn't hear it hit the ground. So, but that's the only thing that I've ever lost here in 20
Yeah.
years. So
That's
if,
pretty good.
yeah, so if you're conscious and aware and everything, it's good here. So, yeah.
I absolutely must agree with you on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I love it. So
It is, it's beautiful. So you've shared a lot about why you came here, why you stayed. Do you want to share what your business idea was?
Yeah.
that
Well, yeah, my
you
original idea, I'm grateful I never started it, because I would probably kill somebody by now. When I first moved here back then, you had to go to Managua to buy everything if you were going to build.
Mhm.
So people would come down on vacation, and then they'd spend half of their week in Managua shopping for the stuff for their house that they're building. So my idea was to open up a small showroom, have some displays, and have catalogs, and help people pick out their door hinges, their doorknobs, their handles, their faucets, their toilets, their light fixtures, and then coordinate with their builder to have it delivered when the builder was ready. So that was my idea. But now that I know builders, I would have shot somebody by now.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I'm very detailed, I'm very anal, and that's something people love about me as a realtor. I look when I walk into a house, I look for everything. I'm like looking for problems, and I point problems out to people. I'm like, oh, look at that, but that can be fixed, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I'm very detailed, I'm very anal. I stay on top of things. I lost a lot of money here when when the world economy crashed back in 2009, and Pelican Eyes blew up. That's where I had my house. I lost everything.
Oh no.
And so, but I stayed because I loved the country and I loved the people. And because of that experience and getting taken advantage of by somebody who wasn't exactly honest and never registered my escritora,
Oh no.
I have learned valuable lessons that
Yeah.
I make sure my buyers now don't have to go through. I make sure I only work with reputable attorneys that will complete the sale, register the property, make sure the buyer is secure. If it's a property that is a government lease, I don't sell any of those. I don't trust them. I don't have faith in a government lease.
Wow.
And luckily in this area, we don't have those. Now, north on the beach, like coastal areas, northern coastal areas, it's government leases. And I don't like those. So I don't represent anything that I myself wouldn't buy if that's what I was looking for. So, and I think that's important. And
Absolutely.
I would rather a client not buy something than convince them to buy something that isn't right for them just so I can make a commission. Because my big thing is, I'm looking forward to growing old here and dying here. Nicaraguans are so nice to old people. They are so nice. So someday I know I'll pay a Nicaraguan couple probably to take care of me, change my diapers, whatever, that's how I want to be. So I'm planning on staying here, and I never want to walk into a restaurant and have to turn around and leave because there's 2 or 3 clients in there pissed off at me. So that's not what I want to do. So I want to live here the rest of my life. So I'm very careful what I sell, what I represent. I don't lie to people just to make a sale. I'm very, very cautious. Like I would rather lose a commission than talk somebody into something that isn't right for them. So, yeah.
Can we clone you?
Oh, that'd be nice, I think.
No, those are, that's
yeah.
really awesome to hear, and that I'm
Thank
sure
you.
that's what everybody's looking for in a realtor. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
kudos to you, and karma as well.
Right, yeah.
You reap what you sow.
You
So,
do,
yeah,
you do.
absolutely.
So, yeah.
So another question for you, a little bit
Mhm.
left field, but what surprised you?
Surprised me.
Either in business or personally.
That prices haven't really gone up that much since 2006 when I moved here.
Yeah.
Well, they did from 2006 to 2009. They went up a lot.
Mhm.
And then we had the world economy crash.
Yep.
And things just kind of, they didn't really go down because Nicaragua wasn't upside down with mortgages and didn't have a lot of credit card debt and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So like the economy here in Nicaragua wasn't hurting.
Mhm.
The only thing that was hurting was people like me that was relying on foreigners coming in and investing. That's the people that got hurt, like people like myself. But as a whole, Nicaragua was fine. And then it took several years for things to recover, and
Yeah.
prices were starting to go up a little bit. And then we had the political crisis here in 2018,
Mhm.
and so sales stopped. And then the end of 2019, things were starting to get back to normal. And then COVID slapped us. So we had like the double slap,
Oh,
the
yeah.
political crisis
Yeah.
and then COVID, and it, you know, so then that killed us for several years. And this year, it seems like it's finally really getting back on track. Like I'm having a great year so far. So
That's awesome.
yeah. Last year, not so good, but
Mhm.
also last year, like I dealt with breast cancer, so I treated it naturally for 4 years. So I was off a lot last year. I went to Tijuana to a cancer clinic for 3 weeks. And then when I got back, I had the mastectomy, so I was off for another 3 weeks. And so, and I would spend half my days researching alternative cancer cures. And so I didn't work as hard last
Yeah.
year, but also I know a lot of other realtors complained that last year was a bad year, but this year seems to be really good. So,
That's really
yeah.
awesome to hear.
And the healthcare here is really good. So, I pay $90 a month at the military hospital for private insurance. And it's
Yeah.
got the diamond accreditation from Canada. It covers everything but cancer, but the oncologist is only $50 to meet with the oncologist. So
Wow.
not a big deal.
And what about the treatment you have to pay for?
No, like when I had my gallbladder out, I paid zero extra.
Wow.
And they even gave me free pain medicine. When I had the mastectomy, I paid zero extra. It covered the surgery, the night stay in the hospital, the anesthesiologist. It covered everything. So
That's incredible. I've
Yeah.
actually just written and published an article on NicaSeeker about the healthcare system
Oh,
with
yeah.
particular emphasis on the military hospital.
Yeah.
So that's a really
yeah,
interesting personal experience that you're sharing about it.
Right, yeah.
Wonderful.
and it's good. Like I was, because the scar's a scar, and I thought, and I had a special scar massage from a foreigner here, and she told me my scar looked really good, and so I was like, okay. And then I have another friend. She had a double mastectomy at the Vivian Palace.
Mhm.
And when I showed her my scar, she was amazed. She goes, "Your scar looks so much better than mine."
Mm.
So, and Vivian Palace is the other hospital that is really good too. And I used to go there and belong to them. But then it got to the point where I just felt like their prices were getting too
Yes.
high. And so that's why I switched to the military hospital.
Mhm.
And I'm just super happy with
Yeah.
their service. And the nice thing about the doctors, they take the time to talk to you and they figure out what's wrong rather than
Yeah.
just giving you a pill to mask whatever your symptom is. So,
Which is what happens in our home countries, hey?
yes, yeah.
So,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
That's pretty awesome to come to a third world country and get
Mhm.
to get care that's superior to what you would get back home.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm really pleased to hear that you had that experience and you're
Thank
well
you.
now.
I'm well now. I'm cancer free.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah.
That's such a beautiful story.
yeah. So I'm very
Fantastic.
happy. But yeah. But it's just everything here is just nice and it's affordable. Like my mom wanted me to come back to the States and I was like, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Because number one, I wouldn't be able to get insurance to cover it. And to pay out of pocket for breast cancer in the US costs a fortune.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm staying here, you
Yeah.
know, it's affordable here, so,
Absolutely.
yeah.
That's really, really positive.
Yeah, and the whole lifestyle here is affordable. Like,
Yep.
when I moved here, beer was basically $1 at happy hour, and now I think it's $2. And I've been here 20 years, so that's not bad.
No, it's really not.
Yeah, so
Pretty good.
yeah, so it's
Awesome.
yeah, prices haven't really gone up much here. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And do you think property prices will go up?
I think with the coastal road, with the completion of the new coastal road, I think San Juan del Sur is gonna boom.
Okay.
Because right now, the people that live north of us here in Tola, in the Tola area, to get from San Juan to Tola, it would take an hour and a half. Because you had to go back out to the Pan American Highway, up to Rivas, and then back into the beaches. Now, with the new coastal road, you can get to the Tola area in 30 minutes.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Right, and
Yeah.
Tola, and for Tola, the people that live in Tola, for them to go shopping, they would go to Rivas, which is an hour drive. And Rivas isn't really set up to cater to foreigners.
No, it's not.
Yeah, they don't have the hair salons, the nail salons and stuff that
Yeah.
foreigners want. But I cut my own hair and I don't paint my fingernails. So, and so I can see the people from Tola driving 30 minutes to come here to shop, take advantage of the, you know, the different services that we
Yeah.
have available here, have dinner in a nice restaurant, and then go home. Because in Tola, everything is so spread out. They don't have a real town center like San Juan. Like you go 2 miles this way for a hair salon, 2 miles that way for a restaurant, 3 miles this way for a store. And everything's just kind of spread out there. Whereas San Juan, you've got this town center. And I live here in my office, and this is my book swap library behind us. So bring a book, take a book, bring 5, take 5. I don't care. Just
Beautiful.
read. It's good for you to read.
Absolutely.
And you know, and so I live in this old 100-year-old colonial house here, right across the street from the ocean in San Juan del Sur, and I walk everywhere. I only drive my car when I'm showing clients property, or if I have to buy something that I know is too heavy to carry back. So
beautiful. And the view, I can attest to the fact that the view is stunning. So stunning to step out of your front door and see that. So
and I have my desk set up, so I look across my assistant's desk, across the patio, see the ocean, and then Pacific Marlin, the development on the other side of the ocean. So that's how I have my office set up. So I always have that ocean view to look at. So I personally think I have like one of the best home offices in the world. So
I think you do.
Yeah, thank you.
So you did real estate back home?
No. I've always been in sales since my mid-20s. I got into working for Sears Home Improvements, selling vinyl siding and vinyl replacement windows. So I did in-home one-call close sales, which is supposed to be one of the hardest sales to do. And I did that and won all kinds of trips and awards and stuff. And then I started my own business, and I had my own company then for many years. And then my now ex-husband, we were building a big house on Lake Norman in North Carolina. And so one of us needed a lot of free time for this house. And I was tired of being an adult male babysitter. So I sold my siding business because you don't have to like prod me to get up and get to work. You know, when I'm calling my installers in the morning to get them out of bed so they get to the job and work, that's annoying to me. I don't like babysitting. I never had kids because I'm not like a babysitter type personality. So, and so I sold my siding and window business, and we built a house, and I did a lot of little projects myself because I'm very handy with a screwdriver and hammer and everything. And so once I had, like, after you build a big house, you have all the little things done, you know, afterwards. And then I started working for my ex-husband, kind of as like an assistant to him. He was a certified financial planner.
Right.
But I'm not an insurance salesperson. I'm not an annuity salesperson. That wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And and then we got the idea to have vacation rental properties. And so I am the one who did the research and found Nicaragua. So I had subscribed to International Living, which tells you the best places in the world to retire to based upon economic safety, security, dollar value, et cetera, et cetera.
Nicaragua came up.
Yeah, yeah. It had
Higher
moved,
on the
it moved
list.
up a lot of places that year to like number 6 or 7, I think.
Wow.
And so I started checking out Nicaragua and found San Juan del Sur. And San Juan del Sur reminds me of St. John in the Virgin Islands, which is my favorite place in the world. But you can't touch a shack there for less than like $2 million. It's just very overpriced, outrageously priced. Whereas here, you can buy, like I was showing houses today that were all over $500,000. And so a $500,000 gets you a really nice house here. And
Absolutely.
the most expensive house I showed today was 1.3 million, and that gets you a really nice house here. So, with ocean view and in California, the houses I was showing today, if you put those in California, they would have been anywhere from 3 million to 6 million probably. So, that's the value of being here is you can have an ocean view property and it's just amazing and it's affordable. And the horseshoe-shaped bay reminds me of the horseshoe-shaped bay in St. John down in the Virgin Islands. And it keeps the waves aren't big. So surfing right here in town isn't a thing unless there's a storm. But there's multiple surfing beaches north and south of San Juan. And that's a big draw for a lot of people is to come for the surfing.
Absolutely.
Even though like I don't surf, but I like to watch it.
Same.
I don't like being rolled by a wave. So
it's not my thing either.
No. But I like to watch the surfers. So
yeah. It's a skill, it's a talent, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how would you describe, back to Discover Real Estate, how would you describe what you offer and who it's for?
What we offer is everything and anything. Like we have lots for 20,000, up to major tracts of land for $500,000. I just put a $32,000 house under contract yesterday. And then we've got $2 million houses. So, and we've got everything in between.
Right.
But kind of the sweet spot house-wise is 150 to 250 is kind of the average house sale. 150,000 to 250,000 is the average house sale. Lots, the average lot sale is around 35 to 55,000, kind of in that range. So, but
super affordable for most people in Western countries, for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
And living a slower pace of life.
Right. Yeah. And we also have a rental department. So if you don't, because things are cash here. Bank financing is extremely expensive. Usually the interest rates are 9 to 11%, and it's difficult to get.
Yeah.
So the deals here are mostly cash. So if you don't have the cash to buy, you can rent. And we have a property manager. I did do property management, but like a year and a half ago, I sold it to Peter, the property management business. So he does the management and the rentals.
Yeah.
And so if you just want to come down and rent a place for 6 months or 3 months or a year or whatever, we can take care of you that way too. We can help you find a nice rental. So nice. I feel blessed. Yeah. Because he's a preacher and he's a family man. He's got 6 kids and
beautiful family.
I'd gone through several property managers before finding Peter, and I was always frustrated. And the quality of service wasn't quite what I liked to have, And so, but with Peter, you have that, and he's a great guy. So
absolutely,
yes.
Awesome. What advice would you give someone thinking about moving to Nicaragua or starting something here?
To come down with an open mind and to realize it's not going to be like the US. It's different, and just embrace the difference and enjoy it. Some people come here and they get hung up on the fact, well, it's not like that back in the US. Well, get over it. It's not like the US, and that's why I love it here. Some things are more complicated, and then other things are 20 times easier. So it just depends, but just being open-minded and like realizing when you're working with Nicaraguans, don't get frustrated with them because they don't know, because they they don't have your worldly experience. Like you can't go into a restaurant here and expect 5-star service from somebody who's never experienced it themselves.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the construction workers, it's not that they're not good builders. It's just they've never been shown the proper way to do something. They do it the way their dad taught them or where their grandfather taught their dad, and it's just, but when you show them a new way of doing something and it's easier and it looks better, they appreciate it. So it's just taking the time to work with the Nicaraguans to help educate them, and they appreciate it. And be nice and smile. And I mean, just being nice and smiling and laughing at yourself, messing up Spanish is like, it goes a long way. It really does.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your story. This is Natalie Sullivan from Discover Real Estate here on Main Beach in San Juan del Sur. You can find more local businesses and stories like this on NicaSeeker. Thank you so much.
Thank you.